So going back to Father Ryan Stawaisz, what, he passed away not too long ago. It was a big blow to the community, but you know him very well because he was with St. Faustina for a year. And before that, you were the vacation director.
That's right. Yeah, I was the vocation director. I was the one who interviewed him and accepted him to the seminary. And I knew him while he was a seminarian. I always knew him as he has a very beautiful soul. Always living. He has this, I just remember he came in interviewing, and right away he impressed me as a very athletic, plays sport, basketball and a lot of sport, very athletic, very handsome looking, graduated A&M with a degree in petroleum engineering. He was making big bucks. Big bucks. When he told me that, I thought, man, your 1 year salary is the equivalent of my whole life. What are you doing? But he felt a call, and he just, there's something about him. He just, a love for the Lord and a love for the people. It's just gentle way of being. And then I see that in him throughout his life, So I put him in charge of different thing. And then I was excited when they were going to send him here as a deacon.
Yes.
And you could see the joy in him, being with the people and always serving, always loving, always attentive to my need. I always care, always ask, always. And so I felt a special closeness to him. And I remember when a month before his ordination, he called me on my cell phone. He said, Father Dad, I just got out of the doctor's office and they told me cancer came back. And I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'll be ordained or not. What should I do?
Yes.
And my heart just broke, when he told me that. And I said, Ryan, no, cancer will not stop the cardinal from ordaining. In fact, he's going to want to ordain you even more so you can become a priest. So don't be afraid. I'll be there to support you. Mm-hmm. The cardinal will support you, So this is what you call. Just call the diocese, let them know, call your family, and I'm here for you. And he did. And after he did all of that, and then I remember he came back here, and his last homily, I remember he said, at the end of it, he said, also, by the way, I do want to share with you that cancer has come back. But the way he did it, the way he received the news, the way he did it was just so inspiring. People still tell me that he inspired me, Father. People who had cancer, people who was having, said, Father Ryan really gave me a lot of courage, And I was so inspired by that. And then he became a priest, and all he did was always thinking about, how can I be in the parish? How can I get better? I can be there. Always loving, Every time I called him and asked him, he always take it with such courageous peace and always uniting himself with Christ and the Lord. And he always tell me, I love you. Every time I talk to him, he always say, I love you. And I so admire him. And I remember hours before he passed, I called because they won't let me in the hospital. His mother put the phone on his ear, and I said, Father Ryan, I want you to know that you're surrounded in God's love because we're all praying for you. I want you to know that I love you, and we all love you very much. And I just remember he couldn't talk, but he's trying to make the noise saying, I love you back,
Wow.
And at the funeral, gosh, it was so beautiful. You see alive, a short-lived priesthood, but he was Christ. He was truly Christ in his suffering, in his preaching, in his way of being with people. I was so moved. I was so inspired. And even the cardinal, when he was speaking, he choked up, and it reminds me of what I told Father Ryan. No, Cardinal will love you even more. He will be there for you. He will even more want to ordain you.
The way he, dealt with his sickness and the positivity and the grace that he had it with. I've always said this, and I'll remember it forever. Is when my time comes, I can only pray that I'll be as gracious as he's been.
Yeah.
It's something else.
Yeah. It's so amazing how he lived out his suffering right before the eyes of the community, right? He shared it, but always pointing us to God. And I'm so inspired by that.
Does it feel like, in a way, for you losing a son? Because he was under you as, you brought him into the priesthood, and then he was here as a deacon. It must feel that way. Like
for me, more like a brother.
Like a brother.
Yeah, I guess because I don't want to be old. But as priests, we become brother in a special sacramental bond.
Very unique bond. Yes,
I always see him as like a younger brother that I so love and care. And
Speaking of priest brothers, in a happier note, we just recently welcomed 4 priest brothers into the archdiocese.
Yeah.
And, we had Father Houston on the show. We had Father Joseph and
that's right.
And Father Wayne and Father Chad
Henry. Yeah.
We were trying to schedule them for the show as well.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Were you the vocation director when they both?
I accepted all of them. Then I leave. Then I come out to St. Faustina.
So the pride you must feel seeing them finally become priests. Must be something else.
I'm grateful that I was able to be there to usher them into the seminary. Now, it's God who calls them, right? I don't take credit for that. God's who called them, and they're the one that have the audacity and the courage to say yes. So they come to my office, and I kind of walk them through the process to have them accepted to the seminary. So I'm thankful to God for that, because I feel like I know them really well. Because in the process, you have to really interview them and read their psychological evaluation and all of that. I feel like I know them really well. I know a lot, some of them I know before they became. I always try to tuck them toward the seminary. So I'm thankful for that opportunity.